they're free.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
I built him. I take care of him. I'll fix him.
Captain, you're gonna punch me again over and over till your arm weakens.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was.
Welcome to this episode of The Good, The Bad and The Odd with your host Mark and Sam. This week, and actually this month, we're going to be doing something different. Ray Harryhausen died this year, 2013, on May the 7th. And we'd like to have a little tribute to some of his films. We're going to be reviewing some of the best bits of his catalogue. In this episode, we're going to be covering his 3 Sinbad movies. Okay, how are you, Sam?
I'm fine.
We're going to forsake our top 5. We may do a top 5 in the very last one around Harryhausen. And we're also probably going to just bypass doing what we did this week, because we're going to be pretty busy watching all these Harryhausen films. Okay, should we just talk about the man himself for a bit, or get into the films? What do you want to do?
Get into the films.
Alright then, let's get into the films. I think we'll talk about Harryhausen as we go per other podcast, but let's just get into the films. Right, first one we're going to discuss is the 7th Voyage of Sinbad. Okay, this was made in 1958. Kerwin Matthews was in it as starred as Sinbad, and there was various other people. None of which were particularly famous, but they all looked the parts in this. What was your general impression of this one, Sam?
I liked it.
It was pretty solid.
That's not saying much. I like all of Harryhausen's films, but
yeah, well, the thing is, I think one of the tributes paid to Harryhausen was he was a one-man industry and a one-man genre, and they are. Harryhausen films stand separate from almost everything else in the fantasy genre. Some people pay quite good tribute to it, and they're very similar. And in fact, there's a few films I thought were Harryhausen, but looking into it wasn't. For example, Jack the Giant Killer, the original one of that, I thought that was a Harryhausen film. Wasn't. Looked very similar. But it's Harryhausen that really carries these films. And it's not just his model work, I think. It's the way he gets the live action and the models to interact pretty nicely sometimes, doesn't he?
Mm.
Okay, then let's talk about this one. So Sinbad, Kerwin Matthews, good Sinbad.
Yeah, he was a pretty good Sinbad.
He was a pretty good Sinbad, and he was quite athletic as well. And he kind of, that athleticism kind of mixed with the monster work really well. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get started on the story. So it's kind of involving this magician who's trying to run away from a Cyclops on an island where they've just landed, and he's got like a magic lamp, and he's trying to steal it from the Cyclops. In fact, Sinbad manages to rescue him, but he loses the lamp, and the Cyclops gets it back. The Cyclops. What do you think of the Cyclops?
It was awesome.
Yes, I think this is one of my favourite Harryhausen monsters. I didn't realise this, but you pointed out to me that this was actually a reworked version of the Ymir from, 20 Million Miles from Earth? And I could see it in the arms and body, and part of the bottom of the face. I could see that.
If you look at some of the original designs of the Ymir, it looks quite a lot like the Cyclops.
Oh, right, okay.
It pretty much is the Cyclops. It's got cloven feet, it's got a horn, it's got one eye.
Yeah, cool. What do you mean? Not what came to screen? Do you mean concept art?
Yeah, in the concept art, it's essentially the Cyclops from this, but then he rubbed it out and changed it to the Ymir.
Yeah, so he's got more like weird flaps on his face.
Yeah,
that's
got jowls.
Yeah, jowls. Yeah, I really liked the Cyclops in this. I thought it was really, really nice. The actual location work was pretty nice too. I thought they picked some nice locations too, didn't they, to film some of their stuff, I thought. And funny enough, all 3 films look kind of quite similar, don't they? Well, some of the locations look like similar places.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, then the magician loses his lamp back to the Cyclops, but they sail off to, I don't know, is it Baghdad? I can never remember.
I can't remember.
Some Middle Eastern thing where they're talking about Allah. I'm being really racist now, aren't I?
Yeah.
I don't know where it was. Some kingdom.
It's Baghdad.
Oh, it is Baghdad. Okay. The magician does, but it's all about 2 kingdoms. Sinbad wants to marry this princess who's the daughter of the king of one kingdom, and they've gone to another kingdom for the wedding. But she gets shrunk But it turns out they don't know why. But it turns out we know as the audience, it's the magician that's doing it to try and persuade the kings to provide a ship. At first he asks them whether they'll give him a ship to go back, and they won't give it to him because it's too dangerous. But he basically shrinks the princess in order to persuade them they have to go back to the island to get the egg of the giant roc, the bird. In the meantime, he wants to provide an entertainment for the two kings, so he persuades the handmaiden of what's her name? Like handlady, isn't it?
Yeah.
The companion of the princess, who's this older, like, nagging lady, that she could be like the most celebrated woman in Baghdad by taking part in his act, and his act involves putting her in a big vase and a cobra in there with her, doing a bit of magic, breaking the vase. She comes out as a dancing snake lady, which is pretty cool. Cool. It was quite a short sequence. The only thing is the arms are kind of very rubbery, aren't they? They're not articulated at the elbow. Her arms are also a bit snaky rather than arms as she's dancing. But it's all right. It's not bad.
And just to go back to altered models that we were talking about earlier, this model was later used as Medusa. He took away all everything but the framework and used it as Medusa. Yeah,
well, the body's very similar. The large snake body thing is very similar to the Medusa in Clash of the Titans, isn't it? Clash of the Titans. Yeah, you can see that. It's a shame that he had to destroy some of these models because they were pieces of art in their own right. They were really lovely. And he was really talented. He was. I think you know this already, but for the audience, he was really inspired when he saw King Kong, wasn't he? And
Willis O'Brien taught him.
Yes, he eventually. I think he started making shorts on his own. Then he sort of joined Willis O'Brien, and they made, he was part of Mighty Joe Young, which was made, I think, 15 years or so after King Kong. Similar story, just a slightly smaller gorilla, but it's a similar story. I think I've seen it. I've certainly seen bits of it, and I think King Kong blew his mind, and he just loved that kind of the idea of bringing these creatures to life, and he was very talented at it, obviously. And I think Mighty Joe Young was only 10 years before this Sinbad film, so it shows you his progression. I think his use of colour is also quite good in this. The models are not just really good looking; they're really well painted and decorated and stuff like that, I think. So we get to the dancing girl. Then it goes a bit wrong, doesn't it? The towel starts to strangle the woman part, and the magician has to step in and change it back again. Anyway, they start to go off to this island. I'm trying to think if I've missed any bits.
There's the mutiny that doesn't really go anywhere.
That doesn't go anywhere. That's just a bit of drama.
They mutiny and then they turn back to Sinbad's side. And
nothing happens. There's no outcomes at all, is there? They get back to the island.
One crewman dies, that's it.
Say again?
One crewman dies.
Yeah. They get back to now. None of the crew know the princess she's like only 3 or 4 inches tall, something like that.
Yeah.
Princess Parisa, I think her name was. They get back to the island. Sinbad's got her in his pocket, I think, and they encounter the Cyclops. And is it all of them or a lot of them get caught? Don't they?
It's about half of them get caught.
Cool, and put in a cage.
A lot of people stay behind on the beach to assemble this massive crossbow.
That's true. Yeah, there's a massive crossbow. They also find a cave full of riches.
Yeah, which is the Cyclops.
Which they start celebrating. Sinbad saying to him, "Come on, get out!" But they start fighting with Sinbad because they want the gold. But then the Cyclops finds him and puts him in a big cage. So they made a lot of noise in the Cyclops vault of gold. So it's kind of their own fault. What happens next? Sakura is not in the cage, and Sinbad asks him to help, but he just wanders off.
Yeah.
And what he's doing is he's going back. He's going into the cave too because he wants to find the genie's lamp. And does he give the excuse later that he was trying to get the genie to help them? I can't remember now. Anyway, there's a latch and Sinbad can't quite reach it, so he swears the crew to secrecy, or the members that are there, and lets the princess out. And even though she's only 4 inches tall, she somehow manages to push this big wooden latch out, and let them out. So they get away, and then they carry on looking for the rock, don't they? Am I getting this the wrong way around?
They're looking for the rock's egg.
They find a big egg, and a big 2-headed chick comes out of it, which the men keep going on about how hungry they are.
Yeah.
Is this the one with the wine as well?
Yeah, it's the river of wine.
Oh, there's a river of wine as well, and
For some reason.
the magician tells them it's poison and they'll die, which isn't true. Well, no, actually, it's not poison; it's wine, and they really enjoy it, but they get drunk, which is a bit unfortunate. Anyway, back at the egg thing, they kill this chick and they start roasting it. Not really thinking about the fact they're on a big hillside with quite exposed, and they're eating the young of a great big bird that's definitely going to come back. They haven't really thought this through.
Hey, you know what happens? The bird comes back.
Doesn't it? And then it makes off. Doesn't it have a go at Few, and then it makes off with Sinbad?
Yeah.
And drops Sinbad in its nest, but
knocks him out. And
he just wakes up and climbs out again.
Yeah.
Lucky old Sinbad. But that animation's really nice too. The giant bird animation I thought was really, really spectacularly good. Did you like it? What do you think of it? Yeah. And then what happens? They got a bit of the egg, so the magician's still saying he can cure her, and he's got this palace on this island. No, not palace. Like a dungeony laboratory
sort of thing,
hideaway thing. And Sinbad's saying, "Hey, how do you stop the Cyclops attacking you?" And he says, "You'll see." And then they go in, and he's basically got a dragon chained up into the wall, and he like turns a thing, and it pulls in the chain, so the dragon's trapped. Even though the dragon can breathe fire, they walk straight past it. The dragon just like looks at them, breathes fire, not at them.
See, I'm thinking maybe the dragon was trained to be scared of people or something.
I don't know. It
kind of like listens to Cora, and it doesn't shoot fire at Sinbad or the princess, but it savages the Cyclops.
It really has a go at the Cyclops. Well, the Cyclops probably is more of a threat to it than it's like. Well, the Cyclops is obviously more of a threat to it. There's also quite a good sequence where the princess goes inside the lamp and talks to the genie, and it's like this little fog room full of smoke and mist, and they're talking away, and he teaches her how to
summon him,
and he teaches her a little poem, and it's something like, "You have to rise, you have
basically
to
have to drop the lamp into lava
into a fiery pit or something like that." Yeah, that's the outcome. No, that's not obvious just from the poem, but it's just the circumstances that make it obvious. Sinbad gets there. The magician turns out to be not entirely kosher about his intentions, and Sinbad realises what it is, pulls out a sword, but then he animates a skeleton. A single skeleton starts fighting with Sinbad. Again, nice. Not only nice model work, nice integration between live action. This one was really spectacularly good at mixing up the live action with the strokes of the sword fighting. And I thought Kerwin Matthews contributed a bit to that, because he did it really, really convincingly. He really put himself into it. Can't be easy just to show. Apparently, he was a shadow. What did you?
Shadow boxer.
He was a shadow boxer, so he's kind of used to fighting on his own, but looking like fighting. So there's all that shenanigans. I'm trying to remember what happened to the magician. Oh yeah, I remember what happened to the magician. He's all right still, isn't he? But they tried to make their escape. They summoned a genie to help them cross a bridge that's fallen in. He gives them a big rope, and there's lava and all sorts. And then the princess realises that they need to drop the thing into free the genie, but Sinbad says, "Well, we might need him," and it's like, well, a promise is a promise. So they drop it in. I really like the sequence where they dropped it in the lava. It looked really realistic. I think it was realistic, actually. They actually went somewhere, dropped a lamp in some lava and watched it melt or something. Or it might have been a foundry, something like that. Really, some sort of molten stuff. It looks completely realistic. It doesn't look faked at all, does it, to you?
Kind of.
Does it? I thought it was really convincing. Anyway, okay. They have to wheel the dragon in, and this is the slowest escape ever. They're just wandering around. They're not running. They're wandering around these caves. Sakura's kind of wandering after them. There's no sense of urgency, but that's all right. It's, Sinbad. They're reeling the dragon. They get outside, and then they meet the Cyclops. There's another Cyclops. Because it's the island of the Cyclops. They kill the first one. Yeah. The idea is, I think, there's lots of Cyclopses on this island, not just one or two.
They say that.
And then, I can't remember quite what happens, but basically the dragon breaks its bindings. it's not let loose. It just literally breaks its chain.
Sakura starts shouting at it. It pulls itself off the thing, and then it charges.
And then charges, and has a big old fight with the Cyclops, which again is a really terrific piece of animation. The models fighting looks really good to me. What do you think? Same again? Well, it's really hard to talk about Harryhausen much because he does really good work.
Yeah.
The only thing we're ever going to say is that one wasn't very good. Otherwise, it will be very good. But it's a really nicely choreographed fight. Quite a lot going on. Looks like he really thought about how it would look in terms of realistic fighting, if you know what I mean. It looks like proper physics to me. Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Cyclops is like sticking its arm out to stop itself getting bitten in the neck, and
and their movements are natural looking for stop motion. The dragon wins, doesn't he? Hold on. Oh yeah, then
Then Korra comes out and starts like gesturing wildly and screaming, "Kill! Charge! Follow!"
Kill, yes, all that, and then they get to the guys with the huge crossbow, and the dragon comes out of the corner, and they shoot it. That again, nice sequence. But then Sakura gets his comeuppance there.
He gets crushed by the dragon.
The dragon just falls on him. Yeah, and then they have to get away. And when they get back to the boat with all the genie's there as a cabin boy this time.
With the treasure
cue
of the
various cabin boy jokes. But he's moved all the treasure to the boat. And then they sail off, and everyone's great, and it's fantastic. Okay, how do you think this placed in the sequence of the three we saw?
I think it was the middle one, really.
Okay, right. We'll get on to what was the better ones as we go on. I think it's very close, but this is in the top two.
Yeah.
But the top two are very close, in my opinion. So I really enjoyed this one. And in fact, when I was a kid, this would be mid-70s, this came out in the picture at the cinema. I didn't know it was a reissue. I had no idea. I went to see it, thought it was a brand new film, really enjoyed it, thought it was really good. And I think the print I saw must have been a really good one because it did look like a new film to me. The only thing is, it did occur to me at the time, the sort of haircuts and the way they acted seemed like a bit old-fashioned to me. But otherwise, I thought it was a new film. And man, when you're a kid and you get the dragons and Cyclops, it's fantastic. Really enjoy. Do you want to rate this, or should we rate them all at the end?
Let's rate them all at the end.
Okay, all right then. The next Sinbad film, different Sinbad, was made approximately 15 years later. This was the Golden Voyage of Sinbad. 1973 this was made. Okay, what do you think of this particular Sinbad?
This is my favourite one.
This is your favourite one. It's close. I like the first two a lot better than the third, though I still like the third. It's a good movie. Was it a fair clip? Right, bad guy in this, Tom Baker. Tom Baker.
The role that got him Doctor Who.
Yeah. Wow. It was certainly just before he took on Doctor Who. He was not a bad guy at all, was he? He was a pretty solid bad guy. He didn't go over the top either. He wasn't too pantomimey. He was just menacing kind of thing. And the makeup aged him well, didn't it? He had to get older. He aged rapidly throughout the film. Basically, it came up with quite a good contrivance, which is magic takes its toll. So every time he did some powerful magic, he'd age a little, which is kind of cool. He had a bit of other magic as well, like creating potions, which I didn't think took that much from him. But he had ones where he was using his mind to do magic. It was taking its toll. Yeah. Okay, the first Harryhausen type effect we see in this is there's a little flying homunculus, little man with wings, but like big bat wing kind of things, demon wings, and he just he just happens to be flying past the ship and they shoot it down. Yeah. So they get hold of this like gold amulet thing, don't they? Like a part of a larger amulet, but it belongs to the magician. I've forgotten what the magician's name is in this. Tom Baker's name. I've forgotten. I know. Yeah, but it belongs to him, and he wants it back. So again?
Kura. The black wizard.
Okay, so the first one was Sakura, and this one's Kura. Okay, and he don't like it, does he? I'm trying to think what else. There's also a weird dream sequence in it, isn't there?
Yeah, he hallucinates because of this amulet that homunculus
That's
hat.
Sinbad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sinbad does that. And it's not a bad sequence. It's got Tom Baker's eyes, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Not like just... His face is darkened out, but his eyes are shown. And then, so they... What happens? Oh, what? There's a merchant pays Sinbad to take his son to sea with him.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Is it No, Ahmed's the... Oh, I can't remember. Whatever his name is. So he's like a lazy, a rich man's son kind of thing. Haroon. Okay. He can't believe he's been sent to sea because he was drunk when the deal was made. But he also... Sinbad also sees Caroline Munro as like this slave-serving wench. And part of the deal is he takes her too, and Sinbad gets the hots for her in a fairly innocent kind of way. He just says, "You're free now," kind of thing, but she goes with him. No, actually he takes her to the boat, and then once they're underway, he tells her she's free.
Yeah.
not
and then tells her to go make something for him.
Oh yeah, you're free. You don't have to listen to anyone. Make me a drink. And she says, "Yeah."
But then he leans back and says, "Please."
Yeah, yeah, that's true. He redeems herself a little, and she's got this weird tattoo on her hand of a giant eye, hasn't she, as well?
Yeah.
Anyway, they get to... Hold on, they're sailing away, and this old Kura wants his amulet back, and he animates the figurehead of the ship, and it becomes this like wooden walking thing. That's very nice too.
He makes a golem, essentially.
Yeah. This one's quite nicely articulated compared to, say, the Snake Lady. Yeah, articulate to the elbows. It creaks as well when it's moving, a little.
Yeah, that was creepy.
That was a nice touch, really nice touch. But basically, it has to get the amulet. Does it? I can't remember. Does it? It gets the amulet, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't get the amulet. It gets the map.
Oh, it gets the map, but then it grabs something metal and jumps over.
It grabs an anchor.
So it sinks.
It's sweet. It like fights Sinbad and that with the anchor for a bit.
Yeah, that's
but then
quite
it just
cool.
sort of falls backwards.
And another face I recognised in this is a guy called Martin Shaw, who went on to star in a TV action series called The Professionals and various other things. He's quite a well-known actor now, but this was before he kind of became famous, and he's called Rashid in this. And they do the sort of Middle Eastern accent all the way through, don't they?
Yeah,
fair enough. And they've got lots of slogans that sound like "it is written" kind of stuff. There's a lot of all that.
Yeah.
And they realise they're going to the legendary island of Lemuria. And what they're looking... Oh, they've got... Sorry, I've forgotten. They've got this king whose face was burnt off or something.
Yeah, it's the vizier to the former king.
Yeah.
And he needs to get this... He needs to get all the pieces of this amulet to like stop Kura's magic, which is killing his kingdom.
Oh, okay, yeah. But he wears this big golden mask thing, doesn't he?
Because his face got burnt
Because his
by
face
Kura.
is burnt off. I've forgotten about him, but he comes into it a bit later. And they're all travelling around this island, and there's nice sets again, nice locations. Look quite a lot like the first island, really, that we talked about. Slightly more jungly, maybe. But no, not jungly, a bit more green. And they encounter this weird shrine thing, don't they?
They go to this thing called the Oracle of... Oracle of all knowledge, I think.
Oh, that's it. They go in, and this weird demon thing appears, doesn't it?
The Oracle.
Starts doing rhyming couplets about their fate and what they've got to do. And it does look like a proper devil, doesn't it? It's a bloke painted in like silver paint. Just his head, like a disembodied head floating. And he's got like devil's horns and stuff. It's quite cool. And it's weird that sometimes through the film you're watching it and they suddenly bits of things he said come booming out of the soundtrack. You think, what?
Yeah, but it's stuff that's going on.
yeah, but it relates to stuff that's going on. But it kept catching me by surprise, that did. I don't know why, it just seemed odd. But Kura, I don't know, he's got something like gunpowder or something. He basically brings the house down and they're all locked in and into this like rocky tomb, but there's a hole up on the ceiling that's too high to reach. But Sinbad figures out that they can, if they make an arrow with some a metal arrow, they can fire it up. If they tie all their like turbans and sashes together, they can make a rope and climb up. And they do that, and they get someone to fire it. Oh no, Sinbad fires it up, doesn't he? He lies on the floor on his back to get a really good pull on the bow. fires it out, and it's a metal arrow, so it just about bridges the space, so it holds, and he starts climbing up. There's a bit of like tension around that because the arrow slips and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But then the Kura sends another little homunculus to try and not distract. Yeah, try and
and
put him
knock
off.
Sinbad off.
And then doesn't one of the other guys fire an arrow and pin it to the wall? And then he climbs out and you don't see it, but basically he helps everyone out, or he pulls people out, or they climb out, whatever. They get out of there, and then they get to another. What is it now? Kura and
the natives.
But they're in all. Oh, that's right. They got a goddess Kali, haven't they?
Yeah.
Done up in like the frame, and he animates it, which is terrifying. Oh man, that was great.
Yeah.
I really, really like this one because it's got 6 arms?
Yeah.
6 arms and 2 legs, and it kind of dances. He makes it dance for him.
Yeah, just to show superiority to the natives.
Some really nice moves. I think. Do you reckon Harry? I don't know how Harryhausen tackles this, but I'm assuming he got people to do the movements, film them, and then studied the films frame by frame.
I think
something like that. It really looks like.
I think
that.
for like the dance, you just like watched a lot of Indian dancing.
Yes.
So, but for the like fighting and interaction with the world, there's like guys that say for Kali, there'll be like 3 guys standing one behind the other, so that they arms.
So you can do it. Yeah, it looked really, really nice. So anyway, the natives are then in all. They're like green with black wigs, aren't they? They remind me of Oompa Loompas a bit. Like tall Oompa Loompas. And then what happens to them? Does then Sinbad and his crew encounter?
Kura sends away all the natives, and then he starts looking for the last piece of this amulet. There's Sinbad and the Vizier have 2 of the pieces. There's 3 pieces. Right,
and he's got it. And the amulet gives you, what is it, like a cloak?
Youth, a cloak of shadows, and a crown of ultimate power.
That's
something like that.
So the 3 bits give you those 3 things. Anyway, Sinbad catches up with him, but he gets Kali to fight him, doesn't he? He throws Kali a sword.
And then she summons 5 more swords.
She summons 5 more, so she's got 1 sword in each hand. Really terrific fight then between Sinbad's crew and like this mad goddess with 6 flashing blades. I think George Lucas kind of ripped this off a little with General Grievous and his lightsabers. It's very similar. Obviously, it's a completely different style and stuff. You know, CGI is different from the stop motion approach from Harryhausen. But you know, I like Harryhausen's one. It's made more memorable.
Yeah.
And they do an old trick. They do a trick where they fool it up by going up a set of stairs. Isn't that how Sinbad beat the skeleton? In the first one.
Got it up a load of stairs and then like charged into it, so it fell off and smashed
to pieces. They do the same with Kali, essentially, a same trick, and then
the other piece of the amulet's inside him. Her.
Oh yes, I'd forgotten that bit. Yes. Okay, so we've had plenty of action to this point, but what happens? They see the natives then appear, don't they?
Yeah,
and grab them.
And they see, these guys killed their goddess.
Yeah, then they're very angry. They grab them, then they notice the girl's got a tattoo
of the eye.
And that's significant. Did Kali have that on her hands as well? I can't remember now.
No, it's all to do with the centaur.
The centaur, yeah. There's a one-eyed centaur, yeah. So it was another one of their gods or something, or representing. Anyway, they take her and tie her up at the bottom of a pit and make some noise. So something's attracted. Then they get out again by they're on like a basket on a rope, and they get pulled up again. And then a centaur with one eye comes. Another spectacular creation from Harryhausen there. He grabs the girl and goes off with her. Really nice. Sinbad starts fighting with him, and doesn't he get the Vizier to take his mask off?
Yeah, to scare away all the natives.
And they do a runner, which gives the Sinbad's crew a bit of peace, and then they go down in the pit and start chasing it. They find the girl, don't they, by the fountain, but the centaur's gone.
No, they find the girl just in the caves.
In the caves, right, yes.
Sinbad gets her, and then they all sort of come across the fountain.
They all come across the fountain. And then...
where Tom Baker's used one of the amulets.
Yeah. Now, Tom Baker's been using a lot of magic during this time, hasn't he? And he's got older and older and older, and the makeup's really good. But he's got young at this point again, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Because he's used one of the amulets. Basically, as you throw each amulet in, you get each power.
Yeah.
And then So the centaur comes back. Doesn't he tell it to attack Sinbad?
Yeah.
He's got some sort of power over
He screams for the demons of darkness to help him, and then the centaur comes along.
back.
And then a griffin shows up.
Luckily, a griffin shows up, who's the power of good. And then they start fighting, and it seems like...
Which is weird, because both griffins and centaurs are kind of stereotypically good monsters.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's Harryhausen world, isn't it? That's really nice. It's not quite as... I think the centaur's animated a little better.
Yeah.
The griffin looks a bit more static, but when they actually get fighting it sort of comes to life a little. Yeah. I don't think Harryhausen was sure what to do with its big wings. They flap a bit, actually.
Yeah, when it's dying. But
and there's a fight, and I think the griffin starts getting the better of the centaur, but then
Kuro comes up and
hamstrings it or something, doesn't he? He certainly slashes it at the back, which gives it a disadvantage, so the centaur starts winning, and then the guys get stuck in and start fighting. And it's pretty dangerous, this centaur. I think a few of them die, don't they? But meanwhile, old Kuro drops another thing in, and he starts... No, hold on.
No. There's this weird thing in this film where the people just literally walk up and just take the amulets from each other.
Yeah.
Like Kuro, after he's dropped the first amulet in, he starts like praying, and Sinbad just walks up behind him and takes the other two amulets.
Yeah.
And Sinbad gets knocked about a bit by the centaur, and Kuro just walks up and takes the amulets again.
Yeah.
Then chucks the next one in.
Yeah, so that gives him this so-called cloak of invisibility when he slowly starts to disappear while waving a sword around and saying, "You can't tell me I've got, I am power. You can't stop. We can see, but you know where he is because he's holding a sword and we can see the sword, so we know."
But eventually, the sword disappears.
Which makes more sense. And then we know that Kuro's got into the fountain
because he's visible.
So Sinbad jumps in, then he goes completely invisible. So Sinbad's got no hope really. Unless he gets lucky. But then Kuro makes the silly mistake of standing right in the middle of the fountain so you can see his body shape. And meanwhile he's cackling away like pantomime villain.
He does this massive wind up to a swing as well.
Yeah.
He's like, ha ha ha.
Anyway, the crew
just gets stabbed.
The crew see him, don't they, and call out or something. And Sinbad runs him through. The fountain turns red for quite a while. That's pretty cool looking. And then eventually goes back to clear water, so we know Kuro's dead. What happened to Kuro's little sidekick, Rashid? He just got sent back to the ship, didn't he? And that was it. We didn't see him again.
Yeah.
Quite early on, actually. But he's a bloke. He looks like he's not well.
Yeah, he's got a bandage around his head.
It looks like a bandage. It's supposed to be like some sort of turban or wrap or something. But he really looks like he's had a head injury, which is a bit unfortunate. Anyway, so then the last thing goes in and the crown comes out of the water.
Yeah.
And Sinbad puts it on the vizier's head, and his gold thing melts off. Well, it just fades out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And he's got a normal face under him, so his face has got back to normal.
Yeah. This one has more comical lines as well. So when they do meet the guy, the vizier, they're like, "I've heard of gold going to a man's head, but this is ridiculous."
Nice. Yes. Okay. And then they all sail off. I think.
Yeah, that's it.
Really, really nice film, this.
Yeah.
I mean, we got Carly, that's spectacularly good. The Centaur's pretty good. The Griffin's okay. But Carly and the Centaur, to me, were the real good bits of this one.
Yeah.
I quite like the figurehead as well. That was kind of cool, too. And the fact it let go of the anchor when Kura told it to, so it floated back to the surface so he could recover the map. That was nice. Yeah, I think this is the best. Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think this is the best of the three. It's a bit more gritty, I think, than the others. And the fights, it's handheld camera fights, aren't they? That kind of works well. And though I did think some of the fine cutting, apart from Carly, which was really good, the actual cutting between the models and the actors integrated really much better in the first one. I just felt that everything kind of worked really well in the first one. In this, it was more a case of it had cut and you'd see him swinging. But the Carly fight was well done. But I don't know. Maybe I'm being a bit fussy. Right, okay, then should we move on to the last of Harryhausen's Sinbad films? This was made 4 years later. Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger. Now, it was originally going to be the same Sinbad, but for whatever reasons, it didn't work out, and they got in a new one, Patrick Wayne, who's much more American-y kind of. He didn't even try an accent, did he? Am I thinking?
No.
Right? He was basically American, and then some of the cast were English as well. So there you go, and didn't bother with accents either, which I guess is fine. It doesn't really matter. Jane Seymour was in this. She'd been a Bond girl in Live and Let Die a few years before this. She was a pretty good princess, I thought.
Yeah.
Can't remember her name. Anyway, it kicks off. Again, instead of a magician, they got an evil witch this time, called Zenobia.
Yeah.
Who's the stepmother of the princess, but she hates her and thinks she's evil, and she is quite evil, really. Yeah. But she's got
a sort of Power Rangers villain way.
Yeah, she is very Power Rangers. You're right, very Power Rangers. She's got this liquid that can transform materials from one form to another, which is kind of weird and interesting. It starts off by Sinbad just arrived in town, and I think she takes against him, doesn't she? She summons these 3 kind of insectoid skeleton things. They've got big buggy eyes.
They're ghouls.
They're weird. They're ghouls, are they? Okay, because one gets stabbed through the chest, doesn't it? It doesn't affect it at all.
Yeah.
So they're obviously not alive as such. Anyway, they get into a big fight. There's some quite good stop motion interacting with the real world sort of stuff going on. That's quite kind of cool. A few of his men die in this fight.
I think one died.
One died.
Sure
and funny enough, her son, also the bad woman's, the villainess's son in this, was Haroon in the one for his different character, but it's the same actor. He's got a beard, so he looks a little different.
Yeah. They're taking the Star Trek route of evil.
Yeah, beard. Yeah. Anyway, Sinbad, didn't they tell Sinbad there's a plague so he can't get into the main town, but then it all comes out. She has, doesn't it start with him being crowned and something happening? You don't see what. Someone, they're screaming, there's like smoke. Something happens to the guy just before he gets crowned. And it turns out he's not been made vizier yet, he hasn't been crowned. And it turns out he's been transformed into a baboon. And they think Zenobia's behind it. In fact, she is behind it. But he's a baboon. But they figure they might be able to change him back with the help of a wizard whose name Melanthius, that's it. So they go and have to go to his island. They encounter some people throwing rocks at them. I got a feeling they had something else planned there, but they couldn't do it, so they just had people throwing rocks. And this woman appears who stops them throwing rocks. It turns out she's the daughter of... what's his name? Melanthius. She's the daughter of Melanthius. Dione or something, is it? Tione or something like that. Dione. And they can use telepathy, which they never use again.
No.
For some reason they introduce it as a plot.
They don't really have to.
No, okay, fair enough. They do sort of always tend to be in the same room. And the magician says, oh no, we can't transform. Then he works out that they can go to this island where there's a shrine where materials can be changed, so it's a possibility they could change him back again.
It's Hyperborea.
Right, that's it. It's on the top of the North Pole. There's a land, there's a valley that's kept by the power of the ancients. They designed this shrine. Was it the Shrine of the Four Elements?
Yeah.
That sort of keep the snow back, where there might be some way of transforming him back. The woman wants to find out all about... I'm having a bit of trouble with the timeline here. Did I get back to the ship and then she kind of turns herself into a seagull?
Yeah.
Right, she drinks some of this fluid to turn herself into a seagull.
So she can go and find out their plans.
But she hasn't got much fluid left. So she's like a bit hesitant about it. So she turns herself into a seagull, lands on it, and then turns herself into a midget, like a tiny...
Yeah,
thing,
she's about as... She can be held in someone's hand.
Yeah, she's about that size. Just so she can spy on him. But Melanthius...
Yeah, puts her in a jar.
Puts her in a jar and notices... Then he takes the liquid off of her and she's saying, no, I need that. And it gets spilt.
No, the thing's broken.
Okay, so. And she's saying how precious it is, or she's obviously agitated about it. So he catches a wasp, or...
It's a
like
bee or a mosquito.
Well, they call it a mosquito, but it looks like a wasp to me, or a bee, a honeybee kind of thing. And he threatens to put it in the cage with her. He also says at one point, a sting from this kills a man. Imagine what it'll do to you, but you think, well, that'll kill a man. Anyway, he sort of threatens to put it in.
Kill a bee.
And then, for some reason, he decides to test what this liquid is. He feeds some of it to the bee thing. Bad idea, that.
Yeah.
It starts growing in size and becomes like a pigeon-sized bee, or maybe a little bigger than that, and starts flying around, and the crew come in and they're flapping around with it. And meanwhile, she's in this jar, but it gets knocked over, so she manages to escape, and she's little, but the liquid gets broken, and she starts licking it up and going on about, I hope there's enough. She starts licking it up off the tabletop while they're fighting this bee. Finally, one throws a knife and pins it to the wall. Is that right?
Yeah. Sinbad throws a knife.
Yeah, but she's already transformed herself into a seagull, and just at the window, and one tries to grab it and fumbles. The seagull flies off, and we see a generic stock shot of a seagull flying around, and then she gets back, transforms herself back, but she hasn't. No, her son gives her some of the fluid, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Hoping there's enough, but it's not enough, and her foot's like a giant seagull's foot, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of her feet, but the rest of her's all right. Anyway, but from all this, she's seen the map and she figures out where they're going and can follow them. Also, we forgot she's created this like mechanical thing.
The Minotaur.
The Minotaur, a big gold Minotaur robot thing. That's
the
pretty
hardest
cool.
thing in this movie to forget, but it does absolutely nothing.
It does. All it does is row the boat, really,
Yeah.
and pull a rock out.
And half the time, it's not even Harryhausen's model.
No, it's a bloke in a bit, but it's quite a nice little boat they've got. It looks really nice, and the actual, even when it's a man, it looks kind of cool, doesn't it?
Yeah. There's that bit where it's dealing with the guards. It's picks up a pike and there's guards floating around in the water. It doesn't even like jab them with this pike. It just sort of slowly pushes the pike in and throws them over the boat.
Oh yeah, that was grim. Yes, I kind of thought that was. I think this was a PG, and it was kind of quite grim, that bit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. There was something else. I've got a note here, and I'm trying to read it. Something about a head.
A head?
I can't read my own writing. Doesn't matter. Okay. Anyway, they're heading north. They're all heading north.
Yeah. There's the giant head gate.
Yes, I made a note about that. That was kind of cool. Kind of cool looking gate, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's when they get there.
It's after they meet Trog.
Yes, then they meet Trog. They get to land. They meet Trog, who's a Trog that they think is a monster, but Melanthius explains he's an ancestor man. He's supposed to be like hominid or something, but he's actually got a horn in the middle of his head, which I remember as a kid bothered me a lot. So ancestors did have a horn, but it's Harryhausen.
Yeah.
This is really nicely animated, and the monkey and the baboon, which is fully animated, not bad. They kind of talk or something.
Yeah, they can grunt.
They're
the
not
Trog
quite
grunts,
but they kind of get on with each other okay. And the Trog goes with them.
Yeah.
Oh no, don't they draw it a picture and it tells them where it is, and that's when they get to the head thing. Yeah, that's right.
The Troglodyte helps them open the door.
Yeah, is this before they meet? It is before they meet the walrus, isn't it?
No, this is after them.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I've forgotten that bit.
That bit's quite forgettable because it's just like, we're travelling. Oh, there's a walrus and it's gone.
There's a walrus attacks them. Someone gets squashed by the walrus.
Yeah, and then they start making jokes, and then people remember someone died.
So there was a bloke flattened into the ice.
They're like, haha, never seen a black man go white before.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, you didn't. Okay.
Oh.
All right, okay. Then they get to the shrine. There's a bit of to and fro with the woman, isn't there?
Yeah.
And I can't remember how she comes, because she's not very threatening.
No.
But they're kind of timid of her. And then doesn't her son fall down the stairs and die, break his neck?
A fight starts and the monkey jumps onto the guy and it knocks him down this sort of pyramid thing.
And all the while he's becoming more and more monkey-like, isn't it? They're playing chess with it at the beginning, but in the end, it don't want to play chess, and it's becoming more beastly. And Melanthius
started eating meat.
He's saying the beast is taking over. We've really got to get him to the shrine before he becomes a full beast. Anyway, the mother's sort of wailing about her son, and then there's a big saber-toothed tiger in ice who's the guardian of the...
Troglodytes discovered the crushed Minotaur. That's his ultimate fate. It just gets crushed by a big rock.
I've forgotten that, yes. It pulls a rock out and then it falls backwards and the rock just crashes it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And also, doesn't Melanthius say the fact that they've pulled the rock out means the integrity of the shrine's now compromised? So it's going to be destroyed, so they're even quicker. It adds a bit of tension. There's also bits where they're going through like ice caves. The bad people.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
That's how they get there ahead of Sinbad. Sinbad's ship can't take the quick route; they have to go round.
Yeah,
but
they got
Zenobia's ship has smaller and no sails.
Yeah,
it just has Minotaur rowing. And
there's like weird corpses in coffins.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be the people of Hyperborea.
Oh, okay. Anyway, we're going backwards and forwards now. I'm telling you. The Queen gets angry, and a green smoke. She makes a green smoke. She basically
possesses the tiger
into the tiger. The tiger breaks out of the ice. The Trog starts fighting with it.
It's a brilliant fight.
It is a really good fight. This is I think this is the weaker of the three films. This fight's really really good. I don't think the Sinbad's as convincing as the other two, actually.
No,
but he's all right. He looks the part. The fight's really good.
It's the best out of the three monster fights in the films.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah,
better than the.
It's better than the Dragon versus the Cyclops.
Yeah, I think
it's
you're
better
right,
than
actually.
Griffin. It's definitely better than Griffin versus Centaur.
Yeah, Harryhausen was really firing on all cylinders with this fight. Now, apparently, the whole film was filmed without any of that stuff, and then they gave it to Harryhausen, and he went away for 18 months and added all the creature effects on top of it. Which is how he worked. He was like a one-man industry, like I sort of mentioned earlier. I think 18 months they gave it to him, and then he popped this out, which is really, really nice. All of his stuff is superlative. Really well done. The fight's good. I'm trying to remember what happens. Doesn't the Trog start losing?
The Trog loses, but it's brilliant because instead of being like with the Centaur and the Griffin, they just sort of grab each other and roll around for a bit. Trog's like picking up his pike and smacking the tiger. He uses his horn. He headbutts it at one point. He picks the tiger up and throws it at one point.
Yeah, and you see him getting weaker and weaker, don't you?
Yeah, because he's getting scratches all up his back.
Yeah, there's all scratches on him. It's amazing it's a PG film, really. But I guess because they're unreal creatures, it's not quite the same as people getting attacked. Eventually, the tiger wins. And don't they start fighting with? They fight. Yeah,
Sinbad picks up.
He picks up
It kicks two of his. It basically nearly kills two of his other crewmen.
Yeah,
and then Sinbad picks up the pike that Trog was using.
That's the one he got from the Minotaur, isn't it?
The Minotaur, yeah.
Yeah, and the tiger jumps and he gets impaled. Harryhausen's done this in more than one film.
Yeah,
it gets impales itself by jumping.
Jumps over Sinbad, just lifts up the pike.
Yeah. I think they use the same trick in 300, actually. The boy has to fight the wolf. It does the same kind of trick.
No, in that the wolf gets stuck between some rocks and he just stabs it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But they do use it in 1 million years BC.
See, they do with an Allosaurus, which we'll talk about next time, I think. So they get the baboon in a glass lift cage thing and turn it into this light beam that's coming out of this... is it up or down? I can't remember.
It's going up.
There's a beam going one way or another.
There's this vortex in the bottom of it that they keep randomly throwing stuff into.
Right.
It's like one of the villains takes off his coat and just throws it in. It's like, oh, this can't do anything bad.
Yeah. The prince goes transformed back to normal. Then they have to basically escape while the whole shrine falls about around them. You don't actually see. It's weird. There's a shot. Like a middle distance shot of the whole shrine getting destroyed. You don't see the tiger or Trog.
No,
which is built. Just that's the way it is, I guess. And they all get away, and everything's great. So that one winds that one up. Okay, we really enjoyed these. Harryhausen is a real master of this kind of stuff. He is a one-man genre, definitely. And I'm looking forward to sitting down and watching more of his films through this month, actually. Okay, what should we rank these? I think we've ranked them already, haven't we?
Yeah.
We both kind of think Golden Voyage is the better. I think Seven Voyage is very close as good, actually. I think it's real close. And I think probably Eye of the Tiger is probably a whole point down from those. But still solid. I'd put these in the mid-70s out of 100. Both the first two Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger probably 70 or a little below that.
Yeah.
But still thoroughly entertaining and worth seeing. It came out the same year as Star Wars, so it caught that kind of crowd, and it held its own. It was pretty darn good. We enjoyed these. Okay, I think next time we're probably going to cover some of the and what you call Harryhausen's dinosaur prehistoric kind of movies. Is that cool? You cool with that? I think we'll discuss. I know we did it last time. We discussed Million Years BC, but we'll talk a little more about Million Years BC in that list, I think. But also, I think we're covering Valley of Gwangi, the cowboy dinosaur cross genre, and
Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. The Redosaur.
Which is interesting. I want to talk a little bit of the history of that next time we get to it, because it's kind of partly based on a story by Ray Bradbury, and Ray Harryhausen and Ray Bradbury were mates at the top well before this. So it's kind of, I want to look into a bit of the history and talk about that, I think. Okay. All right then, I look forward to doing that, and we'll be back with that next week, continuing the Harryhausen season. Okay then, bye from me.
Bye.